Okay, this time I will tell you what happened until now. Uh, I will tell you what stories could you come across, and I will tell you uh, what part I want to discuss here in details. So first, the stories I left behind the naming of the stories for reasons what are complicated, but here the Gospels reach each other, so I will tell you what did Jesus did in the Gospels. Right after he was baptized, he went around preaching, and well, in John he turned water to wine, what is somewhat an allegory on the later part, Jesus' blood is wine or whatnot. Uh, and he exorcised a lot of devils, evil spirits. Evil spirits come from the Lord. And anyway, later Jesus tells what happens if an evil spirit is go out. Even that happens when he exorcises people. The evil spirits return to the person they were gone out and bring 7 more evil spirits with them. So exorcise, even when Jesus do it, is harmful. So Jesus is evil. Okay, now he is claimed to do some big speeches like the Sermon on the Mount or Sermon of the Plain or the parables on the heavenly kingdom, not God's kingdom, heavenly kingdom. It is interesting that in most cases in the Gospels it is heaven's kingdom, not heaven in single form and not in plural like in the Old Covenant. Interesting, I think. Now we learn a bit about the disciples, where they came from. Well, two places are given for the first two, Simon, Peter, and Andrew. And who was the third and fourth? Well, that was discussed previously. Peter, the first pope, they say, was married, just to know that. Also, well, Jesus' miracles, these healings, he did a lot of that. Was like, like a TV preacher do every time, and he don't let the people to tell about the details, because he goes in some closed rooms many times, especially when he resurrects some dead, and so that is highly questionable. And I don't like to work on the favor of the believers, but in the Gospels you can find a part where Jesus claimed to heal amputees. The main problem is it is not a real proof, and no one is named who is claimed to be healed. Now there are still some leftover things in the first half of the miracle years, but let's move on. Jesus walks on water, or maybe Peter walks on water, or maybe Peter is just fishing somewhere. Well, who knows? So some stories are really not that matching. There are some storms. Jesus comes, and everyone is afraid of him. And remember the 5,000 and the 4,000 people feeding? Jesus refers them as parables in not that later part of the story, so that those are very matching, almost wordly matches those stories. So that stories are highly questionable. I think the 4,000 are just made in favor of the holy number 7 and nothing more. That's just a repentance, but you know, I don't want to be that harsh. Uh, and there is the story about Legion. Uh, well, um, people ask Jesus to move away. You can understand that. Was Legion possess one or two madmen? Uh, were also a questionable part of the story. Okay, then he calls Matthew, who in two of the Gospels is just sitting in the place of the tax collectors, and only in one Gospel he is referred as a tax collector, like Jesus in when he is thrown out from Nazareth for being not being a priest, and they are well known he is not a divine person, but a son of a carpenter. Is in one gospel he is referred as a carpenter, although I heard in the earliest manuscripts only refers him there also as the son of the carpenter, not as the carpenter. Now he chooses the 12 disciples and sends them out. They also miracle healing some people. Jesus also wanders around a lot, even by on boat. He preaches to people. Well, mostly that's about it. And one of the most more famous stories is Jairus' daughter and menstruating woman, and these two persons seem somewhat the same. And well, that's a silly story. Someone bleeding for 12 years. Uh, then even John the Baptist seems to forget who Jesus is. But if you consider that all the people never knew who Jesus is, maybe one of the old prophets or a new prophet or Elisha, or after Jesus, John the Baptist was beheaded, they thought Jesus was John the Baptist resurrected, although many of them met with John the Baptist. So even the resurrection stories after these facts that people are just able to believe anything they thought are highly questionable at best. Uh, Now, yes. What happens now? Then Jesus starts to abolish the already existing priesthood and start to make his own. That's why the title Jesus' New World Order. He criticized the Pharisees and the Sadducees and lawmakers and all the people, even at the part Herod, but it seems like somehow Herod was mixed in because the other gospel it was the Sadducees and Herod wasn't a Sadducee at all. And then he starts to uh, giving out the title to Peter. The one in only one of the Gospels is about the keys of heaven, but well, it is there. So it's no wonder in a later part. That's this is where my reading stopped for this video. There will be a quarrel amongst the disciples for ranking, but you see, Jesus. This means the old order, and it seems he starts to make his own. Well, that's all for now. Goodbye for now.